Welcome to the session on equation of a straight line. In this session, we're going to find the equation of a straight line using 2 points on it. So by the end of this lesson, students will be able to find the equation of a line given the coordinates of 2 points on the same line. We begin by taking a look at the definition of the equation of a straight line and a few simple examples. The equation of a straight line can be written as y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient or the slope and c is the y-intercept. So for example, y equals 2x plus 3 cuts the y-axis at c equals 3. Notice that the line becomes steeper when the gradient is larger. So y equals 4x plus 3 is now steeper than the previous line, but it cuts the y-axis at c equals 3. What about y equals minus 2x plus 3? Notice how the line now slopes the other way, but because the intercept is c equals 3, the y-axis is again cut at c equals 3. For y equals minus 2x plus 6, the line is parallel but shifted upwards to the previous line, so it now cuts the y-axis at 6. Let's now take a look at some examples of how to find the equation of a straight line by using 2 points on the line. So here's the first example. We've got a line and 2 points on the line, 1, minus 1 and 8, 6. We're going to try and find the gradient first by finding change in y divided by change in x. So the gradient for our example equals 6 minus 1 divided by 8 minus 1, which equals 7 over 7, which is of course equal to 1. We can use the value of the gradient, m equals 1, and the general equation of the line, y equals mx plus c, as well as a point on the line, and in our example we're going to use 8, 6, in order to find the value of c. So let's plug in the values into our general equation in order to find c. So we have y equals 6 equals m equals 1 times x equals 8 plus c, which rearranged gives us 6 equals 8 plus c. And tidying up gives us c equals minus 2. We can now use the value of m and the value of c in order to find the equation of our line. So we have the equation of our line is y equals m equals 1 times x minus 2, which is the y-intercept, c, to give us y equals x minus 2. Now let's take a look at another example. This time our straight line goes through the points minus 8, 0 and minus 4, 5. So the gradient is equal to change in y divided by change in x. Therefore, the gradient for our example is equal to 5 minus 0 divided by minus 4 minus 8, which equals 5 over minus 4 plus 8. Tidying up gives us that m equals 5 over 4. Now that we have our gradient, we can use the general equation of the line and a point on the line, minus 4, 5, in order to find c. So let's substitute these values into the general equation in order to find our value of c. So we have y equals 5 equals m equals 5 over 4 times x equals minus 4 plus c. So from the last slide, we have 5 equals 5 over 4 times minus 4 plus c. Let's tidy this up. So we have 5 equals 5 times minus 4 divided by 4 plus c. And therefore, tidying up some more gives us 5 equals minus 20 divided by 4 plus c. And therefore, 5 equals minus 5 plus c. And tidying up some more gives us, finally, that the value of c is equal to 10. Now that we have the value of m and the value of c, we can substitute both of these values into the general equation of the line to give us our specific equation of the line, which is y equals 5 over 4x plus 10. And now for another example. We've got a straight line and we've got 2 points indicated on it, minus 6, 7 and 2, minus 3. As usual, we're going to begin by finding the gradient, which is change in y divided by change in x. So the gradient m equals 7 minus 3 divided by minus 6 minus 2, which equals 10 divided by minus 8. This fraction in its lowest form is, of course, minus 5 divided by 4. So we have that the gradient m is equal to minus 5 divided by 4. We can now use this value of the gradient, as well as the general equation of the line, along with a point on the line, and in our example we're going to use minus 6, 7, in order to find c. So let's substitute these values into the general equation of the line in order to find c. And therefore we have y equals 7 equals m equals minus 5 over 4 times x equals minus 6 plus c. So from the last slide we have 7 equals minus 5 over 4 times minus 6 plus c. Let's tidy this up in order to find the value of c. So we have 7 equals minus 5 times minus 6 divided by 4 plus c. Therefore, 7 equals 30, which is minus 5 times minus 6, divided by 4 plus c. And therefore, 7 equals 15 over 2, which is 30 over 4, plus c. And therefore 7 equals 7.5 plus c, which gives us that c is equal to minus 0.5. Now that we have our value of m and our value of c, we can substitute these values into the equation of the line to give us our specific equation of the line, which is y equals minus 5 over 4x minus 0.5. This is of course better expressed as y equals minus 5 over 4x minus a half. It's of course not a good idea to have a mixture of fractions and decimals in an equation. Now pause the video and have a go at these exercises. Press play when you're ready to view the solutions. Solutions are coming up shortly. Now pause the video and have a go at these exercises. Solutions are coming up shortly. Before we finish, do check your understanding. What's the gradient of a horizontal line? Also, can you find the gradient between 2, 3 and 5, 12? And can you find the equation through the points 1, 4 and 3, 8? If you can answer these questions, you're ready to continue. This brings us to the end of this session. Do attempt the exercises in your textbook related to this topic. Thank you very much for listening.